Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We are honored to have you join us for a historic announcement this morning. Thank you so much for our leaders from Council who are here, Councilman Hines, Council President Pro Tem Sandoval, Councilman Watson. So honored to have you here. Thank you so much to Courtney Garrett for leadership at DDP, Doug and our team, as well as from Excel, and thank you so much, Adib. We have the whole gang. We are excited to talk to you a little bit about a vision for downtown. As you all know, I think cities across America are facing a shared crisis, as offices and downtowns have struggled to recover post-pandemic. Many are wondering, will our downtowns ever recover again? Should we just give up on them as some relic from a bygone era? Many cities are facing the same convergence of issues as Denver faces. A COVID pandemic left our downtowns deserted. Hybrid working environments have reduced the demand on commercial office space. And without the commercial activation and life that made them vibrant, these deserted downtowns saw historic increases in homelessness and crime, accelerated by a deadly wave of fentanyl addiction, and commercial vacancies skyrocketed. Those challenges created their own doom loop. More vacancies meant less activation, meant more homelessness, meant more crime, meant more vacancies, meant less activation, and the pattern continued. This problem was not unique to Denver, but we need a uniquely Denver solution. Over the last 9 months, we've set out to reverse that trend. Having spent the 3 years before I became mayor running an office right there on Union Square, on Union Station, we knew what was at stake. And we sent a clear message we would do whatever it takes to not only protect the downtown we once had, but to build the downtown that we always dreamed. Denver refuses to walk away from our downtown as the vibrant center of financial, cultural, social, athletic, and artistic activities. We know we cannot have a thriving Denver without a thriving downtown. We can't have a thriving Colorado without a thriving Denver. We can't have a Rocky Mountain West that thrives without a thriving Colorado. Which means the economic recovery of 10 states starts in this neighborhood. And I call it a neighborhood because the mistake that many cities have made is to believe that a central business district is just that, only a place for commerce. That is no longer our vision for downtown Denver, and no longer what works for today's cities. Our vision is to create the fastest growing economic engine in the West, but one that also brings a more diversified central neighborhood district where people of all ages and incomes can make their home. We want a downtown that can incubate an idea like Ibotta, a startup that began with 2 people in the basement of a Lodo office 12 years ago, and 2 weeks ago went public on the New York Stock Exchange as the largest tech IPO in Colorado history. But that is not the only thing we dream for downtown. We also want this neighborhood to be the place where the first-year nurse moves when she gets her first job, or where retirees come to enjoy their twilight years knowing they can make a walk to all the cultural and artistic richness of downtown. Our vision is that Denver will boast the most vibrant, thriving downtown in America, the place where you can come to experience world-class art, unbelievable food, championship sports, and open, accessible, memorable public spaces that you can only find in Denver. And when your server's shift ends at the restaurant where you just had your anniversary, that she can walk to an apartment where she can afford to live, right here in downtown. When your mom goes to visit the symphony, she can walk to a place that feels just like home, where she feels safe on any given night to walk the streets of downtown Denver. 15 years ago, there was just such a vision for Union Station. A vision launched by entrepreneurs and visionaries like Walter Eisenberg, who's here today, like Chad McWhinney and Mark Falcone and Dana Crawford, a vision that you could take a ghost of a train station and revive it into one of the most enchanting destinations in this city. And what you see here is the fruition of that dream. Water fountains when it's warmer, where kids love to play. Restaurants and bars where people love to eat. Public spaces where Denverites love to gather for a brunch or a beer or a cocktail or an evening march for a Nuggets game. And you see a beautiful, iconic facade that is one of the most memorable in the city, where folks come from around the country to take their selfie in a place you can only find in Denver. That is what we've done here at Union Station. Built a vision that was rooted in our history, but with an eye towards our future. And it is now time to set our sights higher, to dream for all of downtown what we have delivered here for Union Station. And that's why today we are proud to launch a historic campaign to transform Denver. Our Vibrant Downtown campaign will bring the same thoughtful, deliberate, inclusive development we have seen at Union Station to all of downtown. This campaign will work with residents across the city to build a vision for what we all want from our downtown, from active businesses to retail and restaurants to bars and bookstores. We will together curate uniquely Denver experiences that you can't find anywhere else in the world and provide the essential services people need to make this business district a neighborhood district, including childcare facilities and safe and walkable neighborhoods. To fuel this historic campaign, we will extend the Downtown Denver Authority, a financing stream that was put in place to help support the infrastructure and vision for Union Station. If we successfully activate that tool, that will allow us to invest more than $500 million into the investment in downtown. This campaign will start with a conversation with downtown residents. Starting today, we'll go public with a website on which every Denverite can chime in with their own hopes and dreams for what they want from downtown. We've already been having conversations with business leaders around the downtown area and what their needs are long term. We'll take that out to residents this summer with conversations across downtown and this fall with conversations across the city. That will result in a criteria for investment that would come out at the end of this year that would guide the investments we would make in downtown. The council will lead an effort for a vote to ratify and extend the Downtown Denver Authority, and we'll work with commercial and residents in the initial footprint to approve that extension. If all of those are successful, by the end of 2024, we'll be prepared to start making investments in the first quarter of 2025 to turn this into what will be the most vibrant downtown neighborhood in America. We know that's possible. We've already seen it happen right here on this block. This is now our opportunity to take that vision and extend it to all of downtown, to make this a place where residents from around the city will want to come to spend their spare time in a beautiful public space on a weekend, or will you want to come downtown for the anniversary dinner, or you want to come from around the country for a convention or for a vacation or to see family again. We can chart a new course for what is possible in downtowns of the 21st century, and that starts today, and we're ready to get to work. So thank you all so much for being here. I am delighted to have the experts on the panel take any questions that you may have, but we're grateful and excited for your time and really excited for the future of downtown. Questions? Yes, Joe.
Downtown Denver Authority, that sounds like a special taxing district. Are we talking about growing its geographic footprint, extending it? Explain a little bit more about that idea.
Thank you, Joe. So the key is this will allow us to make up to $500 million investments in downtown without new taxes. So the key is this is a taxing authority that was in place to finance the infrastructure on Union Station. We would extend the footprint of that authority to cover all of the central business district, which means businesses could opt in that region, and we could make investments in that entire region. Yes?
Someone describe how it works present right now, how the authority works?
Currently, the way the authority works is it was designed to capture additional revenue that was generated from incremental tax revenue that came after the Union Station effort launched. That incremental revenue comes back to invest in infrastructure. The initial footprint was just around Union Station. And so the residents and the businesses that were in that first footprint would help vote to extend the footprint to the broader area and to extend the tool for up to 15 more years. That would allow us to then make the same kind of investments that were made here into the broader footprint. Yes?
Hi. For the additional $500 million you guys are hoping to invest, what kind of projects would you put that money towards?
It's a great question. So some of the things that we're excited about, and this is why we think Union Station is such a great example, we want to create magnetic public spaces where people want to come and enjoy their time, as you see here. Similar to what you see in places like Larimer Square, where you have great, vibrant businesses, you have outdoor activations, you have recreational and pedestrian access. We want to help convert some of the existing commercial space that may be underutilized into residential opportunities. We think that can help provide more housing in downtown, make it more of a neighborhood, and make it more affordable. And we also want to help work to retain and attract and support the development of the kind of world-class retail and vendors that attract people to want to come downtown. Again, I think Union Station is a great example of that. We also want to make it an easier place to live and work. So places like childcare facilities that have been, there's a real desert of access to childcare in downtown. We think those are some of the kind of investments that we'll pursue. But what we'll really do is start listening to business leaders and residents in downtown and around the city. I say downtown is the neighborhood for the folks that live here, but downtown is the living room for everyone who lives in Denver. And so we all have a stake in what we want downtown to look and feel like. And so we'll get their feedback on the kind of things they want to have in downtown, but those are the criteria we already know that we've heard from residents and business leaders so far we want to see extended.
Every time I hear a similar announcement, there is sort of an outcry from businesses, residents, and all of the other neighborhoods in the city. Why is all this investment taken the brunt of hotels, etc. through housing development?
Yeah, it is a great question. We are deeply committed to a vibrant Denver in every neighborhood across the city, and we'll continue to work this year to roll out plans for how we have these same conversations across every neighborhood in Denver for what people want in their own neighborhoods. That's part of our vibrant goal for this year. We'll be hosting town halls throughout the fall on that, so more to come on that. But I think what we do know is downtown is still the economic driver for the city. Even if you work in Southeast or in Northwest Denver, you have a business that in many ways relies on some of the economic activity of downtown Denver, whether that's tourism, whether that's business, whether that's the tax revenue that comes from this location. And it is also still the place that whatever neighborhood you live in, you love to come for your own recreation, for your birthday dinner, or for your special night at the Nuggets, or for your anniversary, or for a bike ride on a given Sunday morning. And so we do think it is at the heart of the city, but of course we will pay attention to every part of the city, but we think this is the right place to begin. Any other questions? Great.
Would this require some sort of election? Like, how do you grow the footprint, extend the mechanism?
There are a couple steps. One step will be a vote from City Council, which these council members will lead the engagement of. The second would be the Downtown Denver Authority Board would make an official decision to extend it. And the third would be the group of electors, which would be the initial residents and businesses that were present and the initial footprint 15 years ago would be the ones that would vote to extend it. That would be in November. So those are kind of the three immediate steps that we would go through. I don't know that number. Doug, you might?
100,000.
I think it's a relatively small number. I know it is fewer than like 100 businesses that are involved in that. It's a relatively constrained area, and the plan is to expand.
Any other questions? I'll just say, obviously delighted. Obviously, Doug here is a member of the DDA board. We have Jerome here representing Metro Chamber, Courtney from Downtown Denver Partnership, Adib from our team. And so if you want any further follow-up interviews, I'm sure on history, future, vision, we're so grateful to have our business partners here who are going to help make this a reality, and so grateful to have our council member leaders here who will both help lead our outreach and our feedback from community and help turn that vision into a reality. So thank you all so much for being here, and we'll be around if you have more questions. Have a great day.